All right, welcome one and all to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could, hit that like and subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Go ahead, feel free, leave a comment, talk about the opening night of the NFL season. And hallelujah, football is back. We don't have to deal with that nonsense that is preseason. And when are we going to get rid of that crap? I mean, they don't play preseason in college. Why the hell? Oh, yeah. So they can stick the season ticket holders with 2 tickets for egregious amounts of monies that they don't really want to use. All right. The world champion Philadelphia Eagles hosted the Dallas Cowboys, and all the steam in this game, it started out at 6.5, 7, ended up at 8.5 in most sports books because of, first of all, Philadelphia was at home. Dallas just had a tumultuous offseason in which they traded their star player, Micah Parsons, and I do think that, obviously everybody, when you watch these sports podcasts or you watch gambling podcasts, there's always 2 narratives, right? Like, I could sit here and go, well, the market overreacted. Micah was just one guy, blah, 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 blah. They always want to act like they're right later, okay? I really thought the steam was on the right side. I thought Philadelphia was the better team. I thought that, honestly, and this is going to be controversial. I don't even know if I want to say it. Nick Sirianni is an idiot. I know. He's a Super Bowl winning champ, coach. I know. He's at home. But for the life of Christ, if you just ran the ball every play, the Cowboys couldn't stop it in the first half. I mean, it was literally like we're going against, modern day in Los Angeles, a high school team. I mean, without Micah Parsons, and I don't know how stout he is on the rush, he is very good at getting to the quarterback and sacking the quarterback. And actually, I think that was the key element in this game, is the Cowboys didn't put enough pressure on Jalen Hurts. But I digress. If Philadelphia would have just kept running the ball, I literally think they would have scored 45 points. Now, if you had the under, if you don't know what an over-under is, be thankful. Okay, be thankful. But that is the number of combined points that the bookmakers think both teams will score. Are you going to go over that number or below that number? In this game, it was 47.5. I should be drinking whiskey. And I've gambled enough, and I've seen these games. And at halftime, it was 41. You just needed a touchdown in the second half. The second half line was 28. Easy, easy, easy. Not so much. They scored on the first 8 drives. They only scored once in the last 6. Great. There you go. If you had the over, my heart goes out to you. If you had the under, that is some found money. You got a gift from the gods. But let's get back to Sirianni and the Eagles. I just don't know. I mean, if you just kept pounding the rock, I don't understand what you thought you saw in Dallas that they were ever going to stop it. I mean, okay, A.J. Brown's got a guaranteed contract. He's not going to bitch after this game. I'm looking at the team rushing. Jalen Hurts was the leading rusher for Philadelphia, 14 for 62. Saquon was 18 for 60. Good luck to everybody who had him under 120 yards. Good luck on that one. Shipley, 3 for 26. A.J. Dillon, actually, I was pretty impressed. He came in for Barkley, and he had 1 run for 10 yards. The other 2 were no gains. But, you're looking at it all, and for a team, they only got 158 yards. They should have been 250. I mean, I really think that Philadelphia abandoned the run in the second half, and I like to see passing. I do. I'm an over type of guy. I know. Most of the chumps are. The sharps, the aces are usually under. I know I'm not that guy. But, man, I looked at this game and I thought, well, no Micah Parsons. They're going to probably not have that much of a pass rush. And I will say this unequivocally. Dallas probably would have won this game if Micah Parsons was in the lineup. They just couldn't get to Hurts. They couldn't put any pressure on him. There was nothing going on. And it was something kind of really interesting in the beginning. They talk about a pissing contest. Well, we had a spitting contest. After the opening kickoff, Dak Prescott and Jalen Carter, got into a little tussle, and Dak kind of spit in the direction of Jalen Carter, and Jalen didn't take that too well. So he actually spit on Dak Prescott. How you doing there, buddy? Welcome to Philadelphia. And hey, if it's not you, it's going to be Santa, right? And he was thrown out of the game. That was a big part. I will say the other part, and it's unfair because he had a really, really good game. But we're going to put it on CD Lamb. There was two balls, especially in the second half, in the fourth quarter, in the drive that they needed to take the lead again, that he dropped. The first one was right off his hands. Look, I understand. The guy makes so many incredible catches, but that was a 40-yard down the middle seam route, and you got to catch that ball. The final play was on a fourth down, 4th and 4. It was a tough catch, but I mean, I don't blame Dak Prescott. I will say this. This is the kind of game, and Dak Prescott, I don't really care what anybody says, he is a top 10 quarterback. He kept the Cowboys in this game. He did. He didn't make any mistakes. He didn't throw any INTs. He kept them around. He kept them in the game. This is going to be a loss. We're going to see on, First Take and all that stuff. Oh, Dak can't do it. This was not Dak's fault. It wasn't. He could have won this game. CD Lamb would have caught the 40-yard seam route. I think we had a different game. At the end of the day, the quarterback gets too much blame. He gets too much credit. That heavy lies the crown. Dak obviously making $60 million this year. I guess he can probably hire some, psychiatrists and psychologists to help him with the trauma of counting all his money. But I do look at this being a year where Dallas, their defense, and everybody's looking at them, right? What's going to happen when they get, against a team that can really, really push the rock? And Micah, without Micah, and that's a guy they're not going to have all year. They can't get to the quarterback. They just can't. And I don't know, do they have to start blitzing? When you start blitzing more, we all know it exposes your secondary. There's a lot more big plays. Sure, you get a couple more sacks, but you give up a couple more big plays. We're going to see how that all plays out. I think the Cowboys played really well. I thought Schottenheimer had them coached. He had them pretty disciplined, but Philadelphia, in my personal opinion, in spite of their coach Sirianni, got the victory. Howie Rosenblum, he literally knows how to stock that roster with talent, and you saw it. Dickerson getting hurt didn't help. Losing Carter, it kind of equaled the playing field. But I'm telling you, I think this is going to be a real rough season for Dallas. Dak is so good, he is going to get 5 wins just basically by himself. Is it going to be enough? No, not in that division. I don't think they're going to overcome Washington. I definitely don't think they're going to overcome Philadelphia. And I think the real race is going to be between them and the Giants to see who gets to 6 wins first. Yeah, that's what we got. All right, that's it from Thursday Night Football. And Philadelphia, the Super Bowl champs, are your winners, 24-20 over the Dallas Cowboys. They are 1-0. They are 1-0. Tonight we get the game. We get Kansas City. God dang. Wow, look at that. Wow, hold on a second. Hold on a second there. Kansas City is, come on, hold on. You think you'd know, right, John? The Chiefs and the Chargers are playing in Sao Paulo. Remember Sao Paulo? That's the crap-ass field that they played on, the Packers and the Eagles played on last year, and everybody got hurt. Jordan Love got hurt and was never the same the rest of the year, even though he didn't say anything. They actually supposedly had potholes in the field. Maybe the NFL could send down a ground crew before they start to lace it up, huh? All right, if you could, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow with the Chiefs and the Chargers. All right, have a good day.